1 million African men, 1 million African men strong. Stomp the dust, I mean strong. 1 million African men marching forward as one, together marching in union as one, calling on the souls of our folk, kinfolk, long dead, marching up to freedom and calling up the souls of our ancestors. Did you see them? 100 billion souls stomped us. 100 billion souls who laid the path that we traveled to Washington, D.C. The souls cried out to 1 million African men to stomp the dust and shake their feet. We honored the souls of our ancestors, marching like men united, like men moving forward. Sunni Ali Bear, the great African leader, was there, leading the march like a lion. Ahmad Baba, the great scholar, was there, giving guidance. Askia Muhammad, the great emperor, was there on common ground. Stomp the dust, said stomp the dust. The ground trembled as we marched. Feet like thunder, 1 million voices strong, soft, low, loud, words like lightning. Mali warriors rose up and engulfed us. They transplanted us. They were our eyes. Like eagles, we looked and we saw. Stomp the dust, said stomp the dust. Warriors from the Kanem-Borum Empire guarded us. The fruit of Islam was summoned and called to attention. The wind was calm. The Songhai Empire sent us the sun, which drenched us in glory. And we got high in the spirit of the souls. Stomp the dust and shake your feet. 1 million African men marched to Washington, D.C. From Kemet they came strong. Nubia sent a contingent, painted and ready. Oxum fathers marched there in waves unending. Fathers, grandfathers, great-grandfathers, and sons locked arm to arm, unchained. Great African scholars spoke their wisdom to us. Winifred and Kajami shouted, and the heavens rumbled. Sanchas cried for atonement. Kun Anap gave us a lesson from the ages. 1 million men stood still, listened, and learned. Some were wet from the Nile River, aglow with the spirit of King Menes. Some stood high on their toes, straining to see the messenger, the spark. Some stood on the Rosetta Stone to have a clearer view. There was harmony and balance in the village of souls. Brothers from the Sudan, darker than blue, were beautiful and unbowed. Do you hear me? Stomp the dust. Stomp the dust. Egyptian gods and goddesses roared their approval. Isis, yes, the mother Isis, gave birth to a new man, a new son. Horus, god of the sky, gathered the clouds and held them captive, said that the sun cloud could shine. Horus is god to the afterworld, took the message to the slaves long dead, saying, look, 1 million African men on the move, and like dead men walking, born again. The slaves cheered, they screamed. Nobles tired and worn, but ready soldiers marched. Professionals and artisans marched. Poor men born of the spirit, washed of the blood, marched. Like dead men walking, born again, the slaves cheered. They screamed. The sun gods, Ra, Amun, and Roth said nothing. They were silent like cats on the prowl, but they stood watch and on guard. Hapi, god of the Nile, kept a record of every spoken word. Tahiti, god of writing and intelligence, kept a record of every name, of every heartbeat, of every tear that was shed. Stomp the dust, stomp the dust. Nobles, tired and worn, but ready soldiers march. Professionals and artisans march. Poor men born of the spirit and washed of the blood marched. Farmers who toiled the land marched. Pharaohs encased in gold and heirlooms marched. 1 million African men from 1 million places marched, marched, marched. Mummified and well preserved, this body called Ka marched with hard steps. Saturated with natron, we came to tell our story. Wrapped in linen cloth, we exited the tomb of dead time. We stomped the dust, and shook our feet of all residue. Imhotep, the father of medicine, was there with us, and we were whole. King Zaza was there. Queen Hatshepsut was there, providing sister love for us. The Nubian kingdom of Kush did rise up, stand up in Washington. Pinaka was there. Pharaoh and Taraka were there. Queen Amorite was there. The Axumite kingdom stood up, stood straight, stomped the dust. The religions came, hallelujah, hallelujah. The artists came, colorful and flashing, simple and odd. our cultures came without clashing. Tunakama gave a blessing and we marched. Through the Holocaust we came, pushing through the fire. We came by surviving the torture of the camel treatment, which tore us apart like rotten fruit, or made us crazy like rabid dogs. We survived the burning coals to march, march, march. We survived the torture of being capital for the capitalists. Enslaved, we overcame the Vatican's contract that made us moral slaves. We marched freely. We survived our own people who enslaved us. We gathered in Washington, D.C. to stop the